Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm a little bit charged this morning because I went to see Tom York last night from Radiohead perform on the steps of the Sydney Opera House, and it was a very colourful, unique concert experience. It was quite lovely, really. Thanks to Timmy P for taking me to that one. Timmy P is, on the record, an extremely dedicated subscriber who hangs on every word I say and tries to master every technique I put up. Off the record, he's a friend I've had for 30 years who likes to support my channel. You can work out whichever one is true, but thanks Timmy P for taking me to see Tom York. Today, I love PAF Pros. Yeah, I stick a PAF Pro in here, a nice funky green one. Okay, today we are going to look at our pentatonic scale that we discussed in the video in the description. The one with the clickbait title about how you only need one scale shape to sound brilliant. Still believe it's true. I don't do clickbait for clickbait, but I do like to put something up that just might get me some more viewers, you know. Bit of this. So, today we're going to look at what you do with it. I'll put the link below. Please watch that if you don't already know the pentatonic scale, because you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. But so far, you've got this scale and you've gone, okay. You've gone, all right, well, I could do this. I could do this. Sorry. In my efforts to make it sound simple, I'm actually sounding like a real idiot here. You could sort of just play like this. And that's probably what you're doing so far. You're not actually that far off sounding quite pro. And what I mean by that is what you're hearing when you hear pro players isn't so much the fact they can do all this, like, you know, cool, like fast stuff. It's the fact that they've got a few simple little techniques when playing the notes that make it sound really cool. The first one you're going to learn today is sliding. So sliding, as you could guess, put a finger on a note and just basically, or, you know, like that. That is sliding. If you've never done it before, just put a finger anywhere, hit the note and slide it up like that, or slide it down. The idea in general, though, is you slide from a note to another note. You don't really solo going like this. It could sound cool, I guess, in the right sort of context, but you pick a note and you slide to another note like that. Had remnants of Chris Isaak, didn't it? So that's what we're going to do today. And now you're probably thinking, well, which note to which note? Glad you asked. Grab your pentatonic scale, put it on first finger on the 5th fret, little finger on the 8th fret. So you're basically playing it in which key, which major key, and which minor key. I'm going to kill a bit of time here. First finger's on an A, little finger's on a C. Which major key is that? Which minor key is that? Okay, you could have paused. So A minor, C major. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to learn to slide from one note in the scale to another note in the scale, which when you look at your scale, it's not that hard conceptually. Say you went to the 2nd string, 3rd note in the scale like that. And you went, okay, I will slide the 3rd note in the scale up to the 4th note. Okay, then I'll pick it and slide it back down. Like that. Yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. But there's a little bit more to it than that. When you slide a note, you want to be able to keep playing afterwards. Now, at this point where you only know the one scale shape, if you do that same thing again, sliding the 5th fret up to the 7th, have a look what you've done now. You've locked the rest of your fingers out of the scale, so you can't actually keep playing unless you take your fingers off the string and start again, or you slide it back down like that. So what we're going to do is, instead of the first finger, we're going to use 1, 2, 3, the wedding finger. That one. I'm not doing a rude sign, it's the 3rd finger. So we're going to use the wedding finger like that. Pull it back to the 5th fret. Now I know it's like, hang on, I don't use that finger on that note. When you play a scale run straight up and down or what have you, yes, you use the right finger on the right note. But when you're actually soloing, all bets are off. You can use any finger to do any phrase you want. So, third note of the scale, the 5th fret of the A string, put your third finger on it, like that. Now, if you slide your third finger, if you slide that note from number 5 up to number 7 fret, first thing you're going to find is that was really uncomfortable and awful, and it probably sounded like this to you. Like that, and didn't even work. Okay, that finger is taking all of the physical work on itself for no good reason. You've got 2 fingers here to help it do the work. So put them down behind it. Not a fret each, like that, just behind it. So they all kind of scrunch together, like that. Now you've suddenly got this nice controllable 3 fingers to move up like that. And then what you find is, oh, hang on, now I've got my third finger on that note, I can keep playing the scale. So I could go, get some simple phrase like that. I'll show you what I'm doing. It's just, then the next string, like that, just the one slide. Now try it starting on the next string. So that 5th note in the scale. Then next string. This is where we got the 8th fret. Like that. So yeah. Like that. That sounds really cool. Now, if you were to do the opposite and you wanted to slide the 7th fret down to the 5th fret, then you use your first finger. So you can keep playing like that. See how you're starting to get little bits of melody, but that slide gives it character. It stops it being, it makes it, gives it that little bit of guitar character like that. So, once again, I'm going to put this up close here so you can see. Here is your scale shape. If you're going to slide one of the notes from the first finger up like that, do it with your third finger and all of the fingers behind helping it. Slide it up like that, because then your fingers are ready in position to do whatever you want. If you're going to slide the 7th fret down to the 5th fret, use your first finger like that, so then your fingers are in position to do whatever you want. Or if you want to get really tricky, use your third finger to slide it down and then slide it back up, so that you're ready like that. Okay, cool. Now the only sort of variation on that is when we get to these other strings that aren't 1st and 7th, they're 1st and 8th, like that. But it's the same deal. Come back here with your third finger, slide up. You could do your little, but not really. I think just stick with the third finger. Slide it up like that, and then you're in a position where you can play whatever you want like that. Or, first finger up on the 8th, slide it down to the 5th, and then you're in a position to do whatever you want. So, muck around with that, and just sort of get simple phrases. So like the one I'm doing is I'm just simply sliding up, then the next string 1, 2, 1, like that. Dum, da, da, da. Change strings. Da. But you can do whatever you want. So then you get this. So you get that sort of sound. It gives it a little bit more zing, this first technique, than just simply playing the notes. Now, one thing I advise you do and get really used to really quick is vibrato. I have an entire video on vibrato and exactly how to do it, which I'm going to put down here, link in the description. Vibrato is the note shaking thing like that. It is an invaluable technique to sound good, to practice, so that you can sound just, not only pro, but just make your notes sing and sound great. If you combine that with the slides, So this is where you pause and go and watch that video and then come back. You can do your slide. Suddenly you get this ability. When you don't vibrato, hanging on a note sounds amateur. It's like, shouldn't it be doing something? It's like, just it hangs there, as opposed to, you can leave that hanging and it still sounds good. You can just leave that hanging and it still sounds good. So go and practice your vibrato. Get used to that technique and this technique of sliding. And that's what your pentatonic scale will start to sound like. So yeah, that's it. That's the first technique. If you want to get your sliding, I bring up vibrato now, but I'm going to bring up vibrato with every technique. When we do bends, I'll be hammering vibrato. When we do hammer-on pull-offs, I'll be hammering vibrato, pardon the pun. But basically, it's a technique to practice on the side while you're doing this other stuff, because everything sounds better with vibrato. But this lesson was all about the sliding. So remember the rule. Within your scale, slide up or down with whatever finger is supposed to land on that note when you play the scale through. So if you're going to go for this note here, then take the third finger back to the note before it and slide it up. If you want to go to that note there, take the first finger up and slide it back. Reason being, it leaves you in a position to be able to keep going. That's it. Cool. Comments, bells, likes, subscribes, be like Timmy P. So tell me what you think. Comments below, and until the next one, bye-bye.